Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we have the very first sneak peek for the upcoming January 2022 update. And oh baby, that's Krakoan. That is Colossus, and this is the year of the mutants. Woo! I cannot tell you guys how excited I am. That is Betsy Braddock, aka Captain Britain, and that is Mr. Sinister. And this is one of the best sneak peeks ever. MFF is 100% back on their Grizzy, and I'm all here for it. We just have to have one small moment of silence for the possible conclusion, premature conclusion, to the Spider-Man No Way Home update. I know a lot of people are very excited for the mutants, and I don't want to be a downer, but at the same time, I do want to recognize that there were also a lot of people that were hoping for a part 2 to the Spider-Man No Way Home update, hoping for maybe a legendary battle, because usually there are legendary battles for MCU movies, even though it's a Sony movie technically. A lot of people were hoping for, new uniforms and upgrades for Electro, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, who I still had favorited because of that, right? So I myself was hoping for it as well, and I would still hope for it, but I'm kind of the type of person that at this point in my time playing the game, I don't want to focus on the negatives anymore. I want to focus on the positives. So it's not the update that I necessarily was expecting or hoping for to come next, but at the same time, it's a welcome update because it's going to be upgrading characters that are disused, and it's also going to be focusing on a group of characters that I love, right? The X-Men mutants, like I love them. I have the book, I have the thing, right? I just love mutants. And it's also going to focus on looks, like actual costume looks from the comics that are extremely iconic for X-Men fans and for fans of fashion in general. So it's really cool. It's not a lackluster update whatsoever, but it is a little bit disappointing that some people are going to feel upset at the X-Men update and at the mutant, gala, the Hellfire Gala update, because it's sort of, they feel like it's robbing them of this No Way Home Part 2 update. I'm not sure at this point. If you want my honest opinion, again, I don't work for Netmarble. I know I have a lot of good predictions, but that's all they are, predictions. At this point, I don't know if we're going to get a Part 2 for No Way Home. I would guess not, because it would be very weird to do, let's say, a Hellfire Gala and then go back to Spider-Man, right? It kind of feels disjointed at this point. For those of you pointing out that we've never skipped a movie's legendary battle, that's true, but this might be the first time. There's always a first time for everything. And before you start to hurl, I mean, there's always going to be people that are upset, right? But before you start to point the blame at Netmarble or at Marvel Future Fight, just remember that Contest of Champions is just having an X-Men update. They're having an update with Toad and Sauron. Strike Force is having an X-Men update with Apocalypse and the Four Horsemen. The other Marvel games are not. Marvel Future Revolution is obviously just doing a small Spider-Man event, but there's no, there's no big, huge update for any of these games surrounding the Sinister Six and surrounding anyone but Spider-Man from No Way Home, which is very similar to what MFF is doing. So what I'm trying to say is, and again, I'm not defending MFF, I'm just saying that it's Marvel's decision ultimately. It's not like Netmarble, it's not like the MFF devs get to tell Marvel, hey guys, we're gonna do a No Way Home update with Dr. Octopus and Electro, and Marvel's like, okay, do whatever you want. Like, that's not how it works at all. Again, I have some knowledge of how it works because I've visited the Netmarble headquarters. I've talked to a couple of the devs before. I've spoken to Danny Koo before, and my very basic, not insider, my very basic understanding is that Marvel Future Fight comes up with updates ahead of time. Obviously, they can't do these things on the fly, so they're planning months in ahead. I think they said in a dev note they plan these updates about 6 months in advance. This is like public information. So they come up with 6 months worth of updates, but this is 6 months in the past. So, back in August of last year, when we were enjoying, I can't remember what the summer update with, Silk and Quicksilver, they were pitching this update, right? We're going to do Spider-Man for December, and then we're going to do X-Men for the Hellfire Gala for January. And then Marvel, right? It goes from Netmarble to Marvel. They throw the ball to Marvel, and Marvel goes, yeah, sure, do it. Or Marvel says, nope, don't do it. And they send it back. And if they send it back, then Marvel Future Fight is like, okay, we got to try something new. That's how the creative process works. Because ultimately, the one that holds all the power it's a collaboration between the two companies, but it's Marvel's property. It's Marvel's intellectual property. It's Disney's property, and ultimately they have the say. They can pull the license. They can, you know, they get to do what they want to do to an extent, right? I don't know how the legal terms of, you know, I don't know how their contract is sort of figured out, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, they didn't want EA to be the only person making Star Wars games anymore, so Disney decided they just waved their hand, and that was the case. And now other, you know, all these other companies can make Star Wars games. It's the same thing. So I just, you know, don't blame the devs here. Marvel doesn't seem like they want to promote Spider-Man No Way Home that much. So anyways, I talked about this for a little bit too long for longer than I wanted to, but I just wanted to be real with you guys and give you guys as much knowledge as I have, which is that's the extent of my knowledge, and just to explain why, you know, it kind of sucks, but at the same time, I'm really hype about the X-Men Hellfire Gala update, because we're still getting updates for this game after 6.5 years, and they're still absolute bangers and they're dope. So rather than focus on the negatives, I want to focus on the positives. So what are the positives, you say? Let's check it out. So we're getting a brand new, it looks like we're gonna get a brand new uniform for Colossus, and I'm so glad they chose Colossus for two reasons. One, this is by far one of the coolest looks they could have chosen for any character from the Hellfire Gala. Now, I have a bunch of pictures of characters in the Hellfire Gala, and the artists did amazing work coming up with these very unique costumes. But I gotta say, Colossus looks so freaking cool. Like, top 5 coolest characters. The swagger the drip is just insane. And the second reason why it's so dope for Colossus is because of how ubiquitous he is with that passive, right? Petor's Will. This is amazing passive, and it's used, he's basically the only tier 2 character that's used in PvP. So imagining him getting a new uniform, and by the way, these new uniforms almost guarantee that these characters are going to be getting a tier 3 or a Transcendence. Imagining a tier 3 or transcendable Colossus that I can use side by side with Wolverine for the fastball special, for the cannonball special, fastball. Anyways, I'm super hyped. And then next up, we got Betsy Braddock. Now, this is an interesting one. A lot of people are going to be like, who's Betsy Braddock? I thought you were talking about Psylocke. So the way that it works is Betsy Braddock was the original Psylocke, but it was just the name Psylocke that she was borrowing. And she it was a complicated thing with this other person who was the real Psylocke inhabiting her body. Anywho, it's all figured out now. Psylocke is Psylocke. I think it's Quanon. That's someone else. That's like literally another person is Psylocke now. And so now this is, it actually says Captain Britain, I believe. Actually, maybe it's, well, for the Hellfire Gala, it says Captain Britain. And you can see Excalibur here. And we have some Excalibur uniforms already in the game. And this is the former Psylocke, but her real name anyways is Betsy Braddock. And she has her brother, Jamie Braddock, yada, 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 and her other brother, who was also Captain Britain. And so, yeah, that's Psylocke's new uniform, Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain, which is super cool. She looks gorgeous here, top to bottom. She's got that huge X. She's got the really cool, like, medieval sword. It's going to be awesome. And then, surprise, surprise, Mr. Sinister getting a new uniform. He also looks pretty cool. It's not that much different than his base look. I think, you know, they couldn't really iterate too much on this look because it's very unique and it's very classic, and they don't want to change it up too much. But I really like Mr. Sinister being chosen here because he's a paywall. And he's actually a really cool villain, and we actually don't have enough farmable villains, especially mutant villains. So it's really nice that we're getting a spread here. We're getting 2 heroes, presumably Colossus and Psylocke, and then we're getting a villain. They should hopefully make Mr. Sinister a little bit more farmable, but it would be very nice to have a cheaper villain alternative for the mutants, because right now for mutants, as far as, you know, farmable villains go, we have Apocalypse, who's extremely expensive. You have Namor, who is also, you know, as difficult to get as Mr. Sinister. And then you have Magneto, who's very expensive and not even as good. And then it falls down from there. You have Strife, who's only tier 2. Then you got like Juggernaut, and, you know, stuff like that. So it's actually, you know, the number of mutant villains is very slim. Mystique, and so it's nice that they're doing that, and they're sort of giving these characters reworks. And the really cool thing is, I don't think this is the end. I really don't think this is the end. Now, we're going to watch the sneak peek a little bit more here because I want to talk a little bit more about the Krakoan that appears in the sneak peek. So we see Krakoan here. This says enhance. If you translate the Krakoan, so it says enhance, and it shows Colossus. He looks so sick, bro. He looks so sick. Then this says Awaken, and it shows Betsy Braddock, and then this says Transcendence or Transcend. So, and I mean, he does have that gem anyways, kinda. Actually, you know what? I don't think the gem. I don't know. He does sort of rock a gem either up here or, well, both. But yeah, that looks very much also like the Awakening Crystal gem. So my guess is all three of these characters are getting Transcendence. That's my guess based on the Krakoan, because the Krakoan is basically just saying the same thing, right? Enhance, Awaken, Transcend. Or maybe Colossus is going to get tier 3 because he's being enhanced. And then Betsy Braddock and, oh, so good. And Mr. Sinister are going to be getting Transcendence. I'm not 100% sure, but that's basically my guess based on their uniforms. But this is very, very exciting. If we jump over quickly to the forums, they say that a magnificent party will be held in Krakoa, the island of the mutants, the Hellfire Gala, which again, this is all pulled straight from the comics, which is so dope. I love comics-inspired updates. Who would you like to meet at the Hellfire Gala? Hopefully there's more. We will announce the details through the patch, details to come. This could be a huge update. I don't want to exaggerate it too much. It actually still says December update, which is funny. Maybe this originally was supposed to happen in December, but they had to push to January because of Spider-Man. But I'm very excited because let me just show you guys, if you haven't been keeping up with the comics, just how far this can go. So here's one of the comics here, X of Swords, and this is Betsy Braddock, right, as the new Captain Britain. It actually says Captain Britain down here, okay? So that's her, that's the look, and you can see this is ripped straight out of the comics right into the game. We're so lucky that we're getting something so cool. But then check out some of the other looks, okay? I don't like all of them necessarily, but look at this. This is Rachel Summers and how she pulls up to the Hellfire Gala with her little dragon animal thing on a leash. Yeah, that's Rachel Summers from Danger Room. Okay, this is the new Jean Grey. As much as I despise Jean Grey and what she did to the game for years, this is a really dope outfit. I love the way that it looks, and it would be pretty cool to get it. That's right, even a Jean Grey, a certified Jean Grey hater is willing to admit when he's wrong. This is the new Cyclops for the Hellfire Gala. This looks really dope, man. Scott Summers is looking fly as hell. New Rogue. I'm not saying Rogue needs another uniform. I'm just saying she's looking dope. That's all I'm trying to say. We got Emma Frost. Now, Emma Frost actually has a couple of different looks that she shows up with at the Hellfire Gala. There's actually two that look amazing. I don't think I have the other one, but the other one is a little bit more risque, believe it or not. But it also looks really good. And again, I hate Emma Frost, but I love these designs. They're super cool. I'm not even into fashion, but it just looks dope, dude. This is Kitty Pryde, or Kate Pryde, actually. I don't know if that's... I think Kate Pryde is now Kitty... I think it's the same person here. Here's a few more. We have Professor X, who looks honestly kind of silly. He's all blinged out. Jubilee looks pretty dope. Magneto looks awesome. Wolverine, pretty straightforward. I don't think he's gonna get a uniform that soon, and I don't want him to get a uniform, but I would be glad if Jubilee and Magneto got uniforms, 100%. Right? Check out a few more here. That's Iceman, looking fly. That's Bishop. We have both of those characters in the game. Then we've got Banshee, who we could get Banshee and his brother Havoc. Okay, we've got Pyro over here looking super dope. He looks so cool. And that's actually Sebastian Shaw. So those could be possible new characters. Here we got a couple more here. We recognize those two in the middle, but then look at that. Storm looks insane. Her hair is the Cloud. How dope is that? And Nightcrawler looks quite cool. And then we got a few more here. Angel, that's Gambit, and then that's Bishop again. There's way more. I didn't even scratch the surface here. There's a really cool outfit for Mystique, like really nice and really cool. There's also a really dope outfit for another character. Oh, X-23, the new Wolverine. There's a lot of really great looks. So many X-Men show up to this because this is all part of the reboot, right? Like this all starts from House of X and Powers of 10. Like this is obviously way later. But the Hellfire Gala happened like 6 months ago or something like that. So this is all very, very fresh from the comics. And it's so dope that we're getting this in the game this soon. I'm really, really happy and really excited. The funny thing is I was really excited a year and a half ago, more or less, or almost 2 years ago, when we got the original House of 10 or Powers of 10 House of X update. And then I sort of got upset because it was very paywall, right? We had Professor X in the Danger Room, we had Mr. Sinister in the paywall X Gene Selector, X Gene subscription, and then we had Mystique for crystals, right? It was all like there was no free characters. So hopefully the devs are a little bit more careful this time, and they, you know, balance the update in terms of paid and free. But I'm really excited. I really hope this is the year of the mutants, and I hope you're excited too. I think it's going to be really dope, and I cannot wait to see how strong these three are, because they've been out of the meta for a while, and it's time that they jump back in. It's going to be very exciting. And also, for those of you keeping score at home, it's very interesting, and you can maybe plot some more updates in the future based around this. But I have been tracking my progress climbing Null, World Boss Legend, without using reforged CTPs. I've got a lot of Pierce, yes, but no reforged CTPs. I used Shang-Chi for 40 to 44 with White Fox, and those were released in September, October. And then I used Makari, released in November, and Spider-Man, released in December, to climb up to 49. And now look at what the requirement is after 49. Can you guess? The X, baby. What a surprise. January comes along, and it matches, it lines up perfectly. You can literally go back and you can look at it perfectly. Look at this. You've got Human Torch in May or April, May. You got Doom and the Black Order in May, June, July, and Loki. Then September, October, and in August you've got Silk, Shang-Chi, White Fox, Spider-Man, and now boom, next year, new year, mutants, baby, mutants. So I'll be very excited to add them to the roster here, and hopefully we will see some big things from them, some meta shifting things for PvE and PvP for these three, and hopefully more. Hopefully that's not the whole update, and maybe they'll do a part 2, right? Because this is actually supposed to be the mid-month update, so maybe this will be a part 2. There will be a part 2 in the end of January, where they do the full update for even more Hellfire Gala stuff. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.